All right, hello and welcome to the corner. I have with me my fellow Alabaster Savages, Jack Gunsky.
I would just like to point out for the record that Frosted Glass has made it very clear that he intends to murder me with poorly written op-ed articles.
I told you I'm gonna try and cheer you up with them.
Yeah, right.
Moonshock.
Let's make sure that we get Frosted banned immediately because we want to drop that hammer.
Terry Diamantis.
Insert something witty here. I didn't think of anything.
It's an insert.
And our special guest, Scribe Light.
Potato.
I agree.
And you almost killed Moonshock with the word potato.
Thank you.
We learned what his kryptonite is then. Are you Irish by any chance?
As a matter of fact, I am.
Well, there you go.
I like that comment.
Well, then the word should have been blight, but whatever.
Oh,
Yeah.
that was perfect. Thank you. I needed that.
Uh,
Not my lungs, but me.
so how are you guys doing tonight?
Well, good. Well, good.
Oh, I'm fine now after listening to Jack go off.
Yeah, I won't lie. Perhaps I should have saved some of that violent energy for the airwaves, because apparently that's become like 50% of this show's appeal. I don't know.
Jack is very black-pilled tonight.
Yes, I'm very black-pilled, as is my icon.
And how are you, Frosted?
Pretty good, you know. Got like a busy weekend coming up, but other than that, pretty good.
Cool.
All right. So normally when I pick out articles, I try to base them on who our guest is.
Uh-oh.
So I knew that Scribe would appreciate this one. Why saying we need to stop thinking about skin color is harmful.
Jesus Christ. Mine won, for Christ's sake. He cheated, he won, for Christ's sake. Can't you just let it the fuck go for like 5 fucking minutes? You sons of bitches pricks.
He's a Caucasian American.
We found Jack's potato.
Well, you see, the answer to the question is because you are denying someone's lived experience, you're denying the reality of their identity. To say that you're colorblind, to try to make race an irrelevancy, is actually an elimination of a people and a culture. It is not trying to integrate; it's trying to separate and destroy. That's my guess.
Yeah.
That's my guess as to what the tempo of the article is going to go towards.
Yeah, but you forgot one thing, Scribe. You were too clear with your answer. You needed to buff it out by like 20 minutes and include a whole bunch of buzz phrases in there.
Oh yeah, no, I mean I could reverse engineer that one statement into a TEDx talk in about half an hour, but I was just doing the brevity thing for the sake of the audience.
But you forgot something even more important. I don't think you blamed Trump in your explanation at all.
Yeah,
That's true.
That's true.
Oh
Yeah.
well, I mean, but this was all happening before he even became president. So I mean,
The thing is that when you put someone's argument into crystal clear terms like that, they're never satisfied with it because they know it sounds bad.
yeah,
They
I know.
they hate it. They hate it when you boil down their base assertions, because they know deep down that their base assertions sound really, really awful and racist and evil. But and so what they'll do is they'll hear a statement like that. That's not what I said, and
Well,
they'll try and get around it. Sorry.
Well, I was just gonna say let's test my powers of clairvoyance and see what the guy actually says.
Oh, we already know you're right.
I never want to assume. Like I say, I make my best guess, but I don't want to assume.
All right.
Roderick Graham.
Yeah. I think Scribe is the author. We docked Scribe.
That's his real name, Roderick Graham. Scribe's
He's a
real
black man too.
In this racially charged period in American history, How many people will suggest that we need to stop thinking about skin color? I call these folks individualists.
Oh, for God's sake.
For individualists, skin color is a proxy for ethnic or ethno-racial identity.
Ooh.
It is not the person. It is not that the person is saying that a Chinese American person should stop thinking about their yellow skin. They are saying that person should stop identifying, or at least de-emphasize, their identification with the group Chinese American.
Yeah, yellow skin.
If your skin is yellow, go see a
Yeah,
doctor.
no shit. I was gonna say, if you got yellow skin, your jaundice ass needs to go to the hospital.
You may need a kidney transplant, and I'm not going to give it to you.
When that person says we, he is talking about the individual and society as a whole. Our institutions and our social policies need to stop imposing an identity onto someone based on their skin color, they say. Just because you have a particular skin color does not mean you must belong to any coherent group called Black or Asian and share any connection with others who share that color. On the surface, there's nothing wrong with this view. It speaks to a society where other, more fluid differences matter more than skin color, identity. This line of reasoning is a net positive for sure for people who do not have an articulated ethno-racial identity.
on the subject of oh God, what was it that you just said? Fluid differences, and it says racially charged period or menstruation of color.
Say, I thought it was racist to call people inarticulate.
I mean, we already called them yellow.
If the word peril comes up at any point,
If he calls them Chinese at any point in this article, I'm gonna have this wallpapered on my room.
The problem lies in what racial and ethnic minorities lose in this line of argumentation. I suggest that many racial and ethnic minorities' identities are tied up in specific historical and cultural dynamics. Asking them to de-emphasize or erase their identities is the functional equivalent of asking them to be less themselves and more white. This essay
Black is not a personality.
Stop being racist,
Black-
Jack.
Black is not a personality. It is a skin color. The skin does not extend to your brain. Unless you have skin in your brain. And don't get me wrong, the thought has crossed my mind with authors like this. Your personality is not a function of the color of your skin.
I often say that I'm feeling black today. You know?
you wake up thinking, today's going to be a Chinese day.
Yeah.
well, I mean, sometimes I just feel like eating fried chicken.
This essay will develop these ideas further.
No, it won't.
Oh, it'll develop the ideas by just piling on more iterations of the same nonsense.
It'll develop it in much the same way if you took like a roll of film and exposed it to bright light.
More like the way HIV develops into AIDS.
Shiograph says, in this day and age of the Snowflake Masters, why isn't the Isle of Man called the Isle of Person?
That is a good point.
Identity is not merely an intellectual exercise. It is built upon and bound up in real experiences. I will illustrate what identity entails using American descendants of slaves, or ADOS.
Oh my God. No, it's
150
Adoos.
years ago.
Black Americans. It is the group I know best, as I identify as Black American. Below is
So
a
like I said, I eat fried chicken.
below is a
Yeah,
list.
And
What's-
watermelon.
What's my pet peeve? Group, you say?
I actually knew a gentleman who actually came from Cameroon directly, and he says that the way that some of the Black Americans act is they act like some of the dumbest fucking people he's ever seen.
Well, that guy's clearly racist.
Clearly.
Oh,
Just-
literally, but whatever.
It is the group I know best, as I identify as Black American. Below is a list of 10 attributes. I invest the time in listing them because establishing the empirical reality on which identity is grounded is integral to my argument. If you are aware of this history and culture, you can skip to the next section.
Skip.
I'll just read the headings of the list. I won't read each paragraph. Number 1, my ancestors were slaves.
No, they weren't.
Number 2, my ancestors were sharecroppers.
No, they weren't.
No, they weren't.
Number 3, my ancestors experienced the most sustained and intense form of racism of any non-white people in the United States. There's a lot of qualifiers in that sentence.
I'm going to be adding an 11 onto the end of this, so continue.
Guess what, guy? Everyone has relatives who are slaves. Everyone on the planet. You cannot avoid it. But guess what? Some people somewhere manage to move on from that fact and get a fucking life.
Jack, hold the aneurysm until later.
4. My kin networks are characterized by severe lack of wealth and a low number of people with high status occupations.
Tell that to Oprah.
Man. Number 5. I have bimodal kin networks clustered in the South and the North.
Bimodal kin networks?
I don't want to hear about this guy's weird sex life. Can we move on?
Now that sounds like made-up tech speak that like a hacker in a movie would say.
Oh, shit. It's like Treknobabble.
Number 6. My family is very religious. Because only black people are religious, apparently.
Apparently.
Number 7. Music. That's it.
Just that. Music. That's right, because us white boys, we don't know a damn thing about music.
Number 8.
We play that funky music. That's what white boys are good at.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Number 8. Soul food.
What?
Oh, God.
What? White people can't taste food?
No, it's impossible.
Yes. White people, they evolved their taste buds after black people did.
Is this that stupid thing that keeps cropping up about white people need to add more spice to their food?
Oh, and there's fried chicken right there.
Yep.
Oh, look at that. Oh, you should include a picture of some watermelon.
Stereotype much?
We already added spice to our girls. What more do they want?
So basically, he's boiling down the entire race to a bunch of stereotypes and saying that is progressive thought.
No, this is their identity, is these stereotypes.
But there's a reason that we played the horseshoe game on this stream. They do have very similar beliefs.
Number 9, movies and television. And I won't read it, but they do bring up Tyler Perry in that paragraph.
Mm-hmm.
And number 10, familial expectations.
What family doesn't have expectations of their family members?
White people, that's who.
White people.
Oh, okay.
Stop being racist, Scribe.
Yeah.
No, my number 11 is, how about if we mention the fact that the United States is one of the very, very few countries that have ever outlawed slavery, and that slavery still exists to this day. But that is clearly being removed from the picture because it's convenience, of course. But
America didn't invent slavery, but
No.
it did de-invent it.
yes,
It abolished it. Was there any major country before the United States that had abolished slavery yet?
no,
I genuinely don't know. I've never bothered to look it up.
Britain did.
And I
They
think
did?
before we
Okay.
did or after we did.
No, Britain did before we did.
Canada.
I thought it was after, but okay.
Yeah. But like
I trust your opinion.
like the
Or
West
not opinion, fact.
like the Western world in general though is like, gotten rid of slavery.
Yeah, no, Britain outlawed the slave trade. God, what in the late 1700s or mid 1700s, something like that.
Well,
It was Wilberforce. God, I forget. I'm not a historian. Don't necessarily quote me, but I know it happened before America did.
how long did indentured servitude last compared to the amount of time slavery lasted, though?
Check Your Logic is giving us the fact check. Britain abolished it in the 1830s.
Right. Okay.
I believe all individuals who have a group identity can complete this same exercise. This includes groups as disparate as Nigerian Americans, Chinese Americans, Lakota, and Russian Americans. It is essential to delineate these attributes to show what is lost in environments where people cannot express and act upon their identity. I have no desire to give up my black identity or de-emphasize it. My identity provides meaning to my life. Wow, that's really sad.
Yeah.
I need to link my present to the past of my ancestors. I cannot...
Yeah, exactly. Why?
He just does, okay?
Clearly, that's the obvious argument here. He just does, okay?
I cannot understand how I grew up in an environment devoid of wealth and people in high-status occupations without acknowledging the history of slavery, sharecropping, Jim Crow, and other forms of racism.
Motherfucker, not every single fucking white person in America owns slaves. This is the kind of bullshit that really gets my goat about all of the slavery arguments and crap, because they're assuming that every single fucking white person that existed back in the 1800s or 1700s, every single white person had their own house nigger. And pardon my language, that is not meant to be a racist statement, but it's like they're always assuming that every single white person that existed had their own slaves. A very small portion of people had slaves, and even some black people had black slaves.
Yeah, it was like, what, 5% of Americans?
Yes.
Yeah.
95% has to be responsible for the 5%.
I mean, not even that. I mean, that was at that time. We now live 150 years later. I know that what's his name? What's that stupid reporter who brought up the poem about America? We had kind of a mass movement of people move into America since then. We with Ellis Island. Oh my God, how am I forgetting the name of it? But anyway, a lot of people in America did not have ancestors from America. I'd be willing to guess the vast majority did not have ancestors living in America at that time.
Yeah, but we kind of look like the people who did, so...
Jack, Shio has DM'd you an article,
Yeah.
the Wikipedia page on the timeline of abolition of slavery and serfdom.
Yeah, I would love to read it out loud, but I think that people would fall asleep.
No, I'm just Shio told us to check our DM, so I thought I'd let you know that that's there.
So the sins of the great grandfather of the 5%.
Okay. I think that he wanted us to see the map, because there's a map of the relative years that slavery was abolished. And in America, that would have been 1850 to 1840, 1899. Let's see. And, Africa is way in the red with the most recent from 1950 to 1999. So yeah, it looks as though the earliest ones to abolish slavery were Northern Europe and Russia. Oh, and Japan.
Mm-hmm. Well, but the Japanese didn't enslave black people, so that's okay.
Yeah,
they only enslaved Chinese. You're missing the bigger picture here, Jack.
In fairness, the Japanese did some other stuff that they might not be too proud of.
Yeah. Well, they enslaved white people, so there you go. Those goddamn racist Japanese. Oh, wait, I forgot. It's against white people, so it's not racist at all.
I cannot think about my life's seminal moments without some black music or food, providing texture to that memory.
Then you cooked it too long.
Moreover, and maybe most importantly, I am a part of something bigger. I take pride in mentoring young black people, especially young men, when I get the chance. The only way this focus makes sense is to place myself within a community where there is a shortage of successful male role models. I only saw one black male teacher, a band teacher, before I went off to college. When I act as a role model within this specific black American context, I feel I am a part of something bigger. I feel needed.
I mean, you're not going to find a lot of male teachers in general because the way the world it seems to be at the moment, having a grown man in charge of little kids is just grounds for a pedophilia accusation.
I don't think I had a single male teacher in, like, elementary school.
Yeah, it's my point.
Mm.
It's almost exclusively women.
Yeah. A de-emphasis or outright rejection of my black American identity in favor of individualism is detrimental to me and my being. I suspect this is the case for other people who, for whatever reason, identify with an ethno-racial group.
For whatever reason, not because they're part of that group, just if you identify it for any particular reason you feel like, I got your back.
Yeah. I'll just do another paragraph or two, then move on to the conclusion.
Yay.
Whiteness and Americanness. Most white folks will say they do not see color. However, it is apparent from data on voting patterns, residential patterns, dating practices, and other decisions grounded in individual choices that white Americans as a group are indeed making choices with race in mind.
I'd just like to make a fact check. I can see colors, just not red and green.
How do you do Christmas?
He doesn't.
Well, I
Too
mean,
confusing.
I go down to Melbourne and my mum does everything that needs to be doing. I just turn up and eat, and eat the food.
How does one explain the paradox of the individual white person proclaiming that they do not see race or act on race, yet when we look broadly at white people's behavior, we see these clear patterns?
How is that a paradox? You see patterns, therefore they cannot not see patterns? Not see. There it is. There it is.
Yeah. I'd like to see the reaction when the other side brings up statistics and uses it to judge an entire demographic, because that doesn't go over so well.
And name me any other country that has a diverse population by race that uses the hyphen whatever. Do you see African English or African British? You sure as fuck don't. You only see such and such dash American. Why is it only in this country that you have that shit?
It was actually funny. I don't know who it was, but there was this black guy from England, and they said, "How does it feel being the first African American such and such?" And he goes, I'm not African or American, so I don't know how to answer that.
Yeah. It is them that sees all this shit in themselves. They are the only ones that are making this up. The most racist people you're ever going to see are the people that see this kind of shit.
It's funny because this person would probably claim that they want to live in a world without racism. Yet if you ask them what the end game of this very mode of thought would be, how on earth can you believe the things that you believe and simultaneously end racism forever? You would come to the inevitable conclusion that their goal is not to end racism, but rather to perpetuate it.
Plus, you also hear a lot of these people that are saying, we want to be separated. We want to be separated. Fine. Go. Get the fuck out of here. Go separate. Go get your own community. And if you can't make it, then don't come back bitching to us about it.
They do want to end racism. It's just their chosen method is to kill all the white people, and then there's no one left to oppress them. Racism.
Honestly, I was saying something similar to this. And this particular author and people who share his opinions, I think that if every white person died tomorrow, they would not shed a tear. They wouldn't give a shit.
No, of course not.
But then who would they start blaming?
Themselves.
Oh, they would just blame all the dead white people because they needed those white people for survival. So the fact that the white people chose to die on them is only proof of white supremacy in America. Because they are no longer able to survive on their own or something. I don't know.
I recently watched Lord of the Rings, the trilogy, and I really do have to say that in a way they are kind of like orcs without sounding like a racist dick, because I have noticed that like the orcs, if they have no target for their aggression, they turn on themselves. So that's always why you notice that the orcs always have a target and they always have to invade, because if they don't, then they kill each other.
Disavow.
Well, that's true for any group that's trying
Yes.
to divide and conquer. I mean, whether you're talking about, the purity tests of the Democrats, or, I mean, the short version is anybody who focuses inordinately on race as a deciding factor in evaluation of themselves or anybody else
Yeah, I'm
is
sure.
a racist.
Yeah, I'm sure. Like
That's
white
the long and the short of it. They're not trying to end racism. They're trying to gain leverage and power in society.
Yeah, it's like they're trying to propagate it, not end it.
Yeah, I mean that's what it is. It's a whole victim culture. Yeah, this person is just one more grifter. That's all it is. Looking for victimhood points to leverage against other people.
Yeah, I'm sure white nationalists would turn on each other if there were only white people.
That's
Oh
true.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
In a heartbeat. I can just imagine. I remember hearing once about, there was a guy who was like, some guy interviewed an actual white nationalist or self-proclaimed Nazi or something like that, and apparently earlier in his life he stabbed another guy over an argument about who was the more racist person.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
no, but you can see that because like they go into the purity spirals of, okay, and like they use white people, like we're all white, but I'm whiter than you, so now you're the black person of society because your skin is white, but not as white as ours. Or in black people, it'd be this.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Look, colorism.
you're light black, so you're not really black.
Yeah, colorism is a thing. You asked Satsu about that. The whole, yeah. I mean, if you're going to start dividing, you're just going to start creating a hierarchy based on appearance or the oppression scale and everything else. Yeah, you'll eventually have to find new targets to continue to maintain your own victim narrative, and that'll eventually, if you got, like I say, you've got nobody else, you'll just start delineating on skin tone and tan.
Well, I mean, it's not just that. This is the whole oppression Olympics deal. We have a whole bunch of minorities competing for authority over one another, and recently, white gay people were kicked off the oppression hierarchy. So I would just like to welcome to the rest of reality all the white gay people.
Right.
Also, Asians are also off of the hierarchy for at least the next 20 minutes or so, until it becomes convenient again for them to be on the hierarchy again.
All right, one more paragraph, then I'll go to the conclusion. The straightforward answer is that white is the default racial identity in the United States and other multiracial European countries.
There's a reason for that.
Because it is the default identity, it is seen as neutral and non-racial. Meanwhile, people whose looks and actions deviate from this default are understood to be a race or to be acting racially. Acting racially? You mean like following all the stereotypes you listed earlier?
There's a reason why whites are defaulted to United States and European, because that's, well, I mean, naturally we came from Europe, and I mean, we're not naturally from the United States, obviously, but we came from Europe. So that's obviously going to be the default race of Europeans. I don't want to hear this bullshit of, oh, well, Europe is so racist because they default to white as the racial identity. No shit. What else is it going to be? Are we going to be, well, Chinese need to be the default Europe race, or no, or go have like, shit, I don't know, somebody from India go to Africa. It's like, well, that India guy, that's the national race right there. That is the dumbest and worst argument you could possibly make. This guy is an idiot.
Well, of course he's an idiot. We wouldn't be reading his article if he wasn't.
Yeah. All right.
What stream do you think you're on, Moonshock?
I know.
Conclusion. Individualists asking people to stop thinking about skin color is damaging to people who value their identity. The trick to getting past skin color while still allowing individuals to cherish the identities is, ironically, to celebrate differences in skin color. Asking people to de-emphasize or not identify with their ethno-racial backgrounds in favor of individualism is a bait and switch. The bait is that we are all individuals, and once you de-emphasize your ethno-racial identity, we will all be American together. This Americanness then switched for whiteness. You are asked to give up your identity for theirs.
But the whole sorry.
Not go ahead.
The whole purpose of this person's point is that they are inherently connecting behavior to skin color. Once you separate the behavior from the skin color, the point is totally moot. Whiteness just becomes Americanness. Guess what? You have a lot of people in the same place. They might share similar behaviors. That's just reality for you. And they might try and get you to adopt their similar behaviors. Again, just reality. It doesn't mean it's because they're white. It means because they share a space together.
Well, remember when assimilating into the culture that you've entered was a thing?
Assimilation is extremely important unless it's in America, in which case don't assimilate, separate off into separate little districts, and then slowly build racial hatred over years and years until it erupts in a race war in some Democrat-run city somewhere.
There you go. Jack is finally on board. We finally made him woke.
Okay.
Welcome to the world of wokeness.
Let's skip ahead a little. We can easily observe the greater intellectual centering of non-white people in American life. The growth of ethnic studies programs has meant teaching young people about the experiences of different groups in society. It has also meant the training of scholars who then have gone on to produce scholarship that focuses on people of color. This scholarship will have comparatively less value for white persons. Along with this intellectual centering has been a cultural elevation, the push by Hollywood and the television industry to cast people of color, and news and media outlets to hire people of color is a sign of this centering. This can appear to some to be a type of tokenism. It can also... No, not at all. It can also mean that these industries are aware that Americanness equals whiteness, and to correct this, they aggressively seek people of different backgrounds. This is
can't possibly be it.
This is
the advertising campaign surrounding Black Panther had nothing to do with seeking people of different races, of a different race intentionally. Just saying.
Why were there black people in that? I don't remember.
No, everyone was white.
Yeah.
Everyone was white.
Except for the Panther, of course.
This is inclusion in a real sense, and America should pat itself on the back for making demonstrable progress. These successes allow a person like me to see my culture as a significant part of the American experience. I can make a full-throated proclamation that I am proud to be a Black American and proud to be an American. By America making my identity important, I have made America important to my identity.
Oh, God.
Go fuck yourself. I think that's basically what he's saying to everybody that reads this.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh my God. Scribe, your thoughts?
Racial identitarianism is a poison no matter what race is promoting it. He wants... What he's advocating for is to not see him as a man, but as a black man, and to make assumptions and evaluations of him before I know anything else about him because of his skin color, that he deserves some kind of specific treatment or consideration without any other information available to me. And if that's what he wants, then he's asking for us to take giant steps backwards in our evolution as a country and as a society, which is, like I say, in some weird, twisted way, that's going to get him power, because as long as you can make people feel guilty over their own skin color, as opposed to yours, because you're inherently a victim because of your skin color, that's power. You know, I mean, that's all it is. It's poison, absolute poison.
But the moral of the story is don't be white. There you go. That's the
Essentially, that's what he's saying.
message.
Yeah. Because
Yeah,
otherwise you can't enjoy music, which, as we know, is a black thing now.
Or food.
Yeah. Or Tyler Perry movies.
Oh, that's a good choice, those.
All right. And with the end of our first article comes our first game, which is the horseshoe game.
Games. I like games.
Now, Scribe, for this game, I'm going to read 2 quotes from 2 different forums. One of them is a Black Separatist forum, and the other is Stormfront. And you have to guess which is which.
Okay.
And hopefully you've got an active Stormfront account so that you can just recognize the quotes on site and make it a lot easier.
Which Terry does not.
Yeah. All right. Quote A. We've never asked ourselves, who the fuck are these people? Where did they come from? Maybe coronavirus will send them back to their original countries.
Oh, no.
And quote B. I think if somehow we were able to move every blank on Earth to a planet on the farthest edge of the universe, it wouldn't be far enough.
Wow. I think B is the Black Separatist.
Okay.
I think that B is Stormfront, because I think that what's being blacked out is to move every white on Earth, to move every black on Earth, because when white is used as a pejorative, it's usually a plural, like whites. I don't hear it so often referred to as that white over there. You know what I mean?
All right. Terry?
I'm going to say A is Stormfront.
All right. Scribe?
I mean, the difficulty here is that you've got 2 organizations that are exactly the same.
Yep.
So, I mean, either one could be one or the other. I guess I'll say A is Stormfront.
All right. And the answer is
You're by yourself, Jack.
B is Stormfront.
Yes!
Damn.
Yes! I finally won this fucking game.
And the uncensored version of B. I think if somehow we were able to move every Jew on Earth to a planet on the farthest edge of the universe, it wouldn't be far enough.
Wow.
Wow.
We totally thought that was the wrong thing.
I was totally thrown off by that.
You didn't need to censor that one because they both hate the Jews.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I gave
I like
X.
how they put the spaces.
And you gave it extra space, you son of a... You brilliant bastard.
You think I don't know your strategies?
You evil son of a bitch.
I thought that was going to be the word white, and Jack thought it was going to be the word black. Damn.
We have fun here. All right.
Yes.
You bastard.
All right. So the next article, I'm not actually going to reveal it yet because it would give away some answers to a possibly one-time game that I came up with for this article.
Oh,
So
nice.
the name of the article is Stop Using the 7 Sexist Phrases Right Now.
Oh no.
And
I like it already.
I thought a fun way to do this article would be to play a little game that I call Offensive Feud. So, you guys will each get one guess at one of the phrases or words on this list. And whichever ones you guys guess, we'll skip over.
Oh.
There are 7 phrases or words.
The top 7 answers are on the board.
That's right.
What's the what's the title again, or the subject?
Stop using these 7 sexist phrases right now. All right, so I'll give each of you one guess. So, Jack?
I'm going to have to say, you should smile, or some amalgamation of that.
Sorry, guys.
Oh.
Let me get my mic.
All right. So
Some mutation of you should smile.
all right, so show me smile more. Oh, sorry.
Oh, bullshit.
All right. Moonshock?
Hold on a second. I'm getting my dog calmed down. Go ahead and pass on me for now.
All right. Terry?
You've already achieved equality.
All right. Show me you've already achieved equality. No.
God damn it.
I got one.
All
How
right.
about stop mansplaining?
Mansplaining.
Oh.
I thought you guys would be better at this. All right. All right, Scribe. Let's see if you could save them.
You throw like a girl.
Ooh.
Let's see. No, that is 4 for 4.
Oh, wow.
Damn it.
Surprise! That one's usually kind of an old standard for complaints about sexism.
Make me a sandwich.
Make this sound.
I credit nobody. not
Very
me in
nice.
All right. So I'll keep this up and reveal them as we go.
Okay.
Oh, Evolved Potato says mankind.
Oh, yeah.
Can we use that as our audience guess?
When are you going to take me out of the friend zone?
Let's see. Oh, sorry, Evolved. That's not on there either.
No.
Wow.
No. All right.
This writer is unconventional. I'll give him that.
All right. Many of us, including me, have been using some sexist words/comments for years, without realizing that they were sexist. We never realized the meaning of the words and where they came from. We took our language for granted, at least I did. Thus now, when I am looking back at all those instances where I used some below-mentioned words with no regret, I am filled with shame. Shame.
Oh, I see. This is another one of those articles. Well, we found this totally common and benign word, but then we dated its meaning back to 1790, and it turns out that it has a slightly offensive connotation if you think of it in a certain way.
Let's see. Shame for the society in which I grew up in, and shame for the society which promoted such words. All of us know that most of our societies around the world, actually all of them, are patriarchal. This, unfortunately, is reflecting on our language too. English is a language which is filled with sexist words, but with time it becomes necessary to change. It becomes necessary to understand the meaning and origin of such derogatory words and stop using them. Probably remove them from the dictionary too, because they are pulling our society down.
Yeah,
All
I think I got confused because I was expecting it to be words, and then Jack said a phrase, and so is this just individual words, or is it like expression?
Yeah, 'cause you said phrases for the game.
Well, they're words and phrases.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
All right. And the first one is, man up.
Ah,
There you go.
Definition, to attempt to deal with something, such as an obligation or a challenge, in a way that is considered strong or manly. Using this term is wrong on so many levels. It might look harmless to use it to tell the man to increase his responsibilities, take ownership, and not let emotions show. However, the phrase implies that taking responsibility is gender-specific. Is it solely...
it kind of is.
Is
From
it...
an evolutionary standpoint,
I mean,
Is it solely a male attribute to cope with a challenging situation? Pro tip, use a gender-neutral work. Okay, I assume they meant word.
Mhm.
Use a gender-neutral word like grow up instead.
How that's ageist.
That's ageist, yeah.
Yeah.
No, how about this? How about you include both a word representing a man and a word representing a woman? Like if I was to say grow up, comma, pussy. Grow up,
Right.
pussy.
Can we say nut up? Because that's more fun to say. All right. And number
Oh wait,
two.
some people have nut allergies, so you can't say that one.
Yeah, that's true.
God.
All right.
Soya.
And number 2, tomboy.
Hmm.
Seriously?
Definition.
That's a very old word. So who cares?
She does.
The old ones are the most sinister.
Yeah, no shit.
Definition, a girl who exhibits behaviors and characteristics considered typical of a boy. Don't even get me started on this one. I was so frustrated and ashamed from using the word during my younger days that I wrote an entire article on the same. I'm sure you did. It is another derogatory term that is inculcating gender stereotypes in children by putting male and female characteristics in a box.
What?
So this writer is a fan of the blank slate theory. Then I take it.
But there
Is
is
this person
as
a
it-
lesbian?
As in there are no attributes that are inherent to men and or women.
yeah.
Nope.
That men and women are totally the same at birth, and if you were to raise them identically, they would grow up to be identical people.
Yep.
Well, the other thing is, what used to be a tomboy is now just a transgender person. Like, they force you to be transgender to adopt that
Yeah.
identity.
Who defines what is a masculine and a feminine characteristic? Why are masculine characteristics considered better than feminine ones? Can't we all just be?
They're not inherently.
Mhm.
And
They are habitable. I don't know. They complement each other. Men and
Yeah.
women complement each other. Neither is bad for their inherent behaviors. They are both necessary. They both men and women, both male features and female features, are necessary for the survival of the human race.
Well, it's also circumstance dependent, isn't it? If somebody says man up, what they're saying is get a hold of yourself. Because men are by at least by natural sort of behavior more stoic, more in control of their emotions. They're not as easily giving into their reflexes as far as emotionally. So that's all that means.
Well, no. This person doesn't believe in that, though. They believe
I know. I'm just
when they believe that when you give someone, when you say that men share an attribute in general, there's that you are necessarily saying all men must have this attribute or they are not a man. This person does not understand statistics. They do not understand how bell curves overlap. They don't understand these things, that there are exceptions to every rule in biology. But that does not mean that trends do not exist in very prominent ways.
and
Sorry for interrupting. I gotta get a hold of myself.
yeah, man up. All right. And this next one is, I was really shocked that none of you got it. And it's so cliche that I'm going to skip over it anyway. Boys will be boys.
Fuck, I was thinking that too.
/ men will be men.
Mm-hmm.
I don't hear men will be men. I usually just hear boys will be boys.
Yeah.
Stupid fucking Gillette commercial.
I have only heard that phrase from feminists.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. I've heard that phrase before, but it's referring to like two boys fighting. But whenever feminists bring it up, it's like men are excusing rape. I have never heard of it in that context.
No,
ever.
because boys will be boys typically means little kids are roughhousing, and yeah, boys will be boys. Don't break up the fight. They're having fun. It's not like an a brawl. They're not like trying to hurt each other. They're just play fighting. Leave them be. Boys will be boys. They're just having fun.
Let
That's the
them.
context I'm familiar with it. Not this. Oh yeah, he rapes people. Boys will be boys. You know, every guy does that. It's fine. That never happens. So
Yeah.
that I've been aware of.
All right. And the next one, working mother.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of the phrase working father? No, right? Because society automatically accepts a working man. It is weird for a man to not go out, earn, and feed his family. But when a woman goes to work, especially after she becomes a mother, they raise questions. How can she balance the child and work? She is selfish by not taking care of her child. And taking care is in quotes, like they're talking about murdering the child.
I'll tell you what. I'll offer this author a little deal. I'll stop saying working mother if workplaces allow maternity or paternity leave for working fathers. How about that? Maternity leave for both sexes equally, so that way women can go out and be career women and still have a child. How about that? Except this person doesn't want that because that would be giving something up to them because they're bullshit.
Let's see. A woman's priority should be her children. Earning is a man's work. Why is the sole responsibility of taking care of a child put on a mother? Doesn't the father have any role to play? Is he just for donating his sperm and playing with the child after coming home? And
Well,
what?
his responsibility is providing the money to buy the things that the kid needs. I mean, it doesn't really matter which parent does it, but it's typically the guy because of the way society is set up. But
Hey,
it's like he's not doing nothing but contributing sperm. He's providing the resources that the kid needs to live. That's kind of important.
Yeah.
I mean, this person is saying is totally trying to downplay the role of the father, and that's obviously typical of today's society. But
Yes.
I mean, just how about this? We'll stop saying working mother if men get equal custody rights in the court system. How about that? How about that for I would take that trade. Fix
Okay.
society. Take that trade in a second.
I just figured out why they're demonizing fathers. Black people don't have them.
Disavow. And why is it always assumed that a woman will care less for her child if she goes to work?
Well, because she's got less time. Like things take a finite amount of time. You spend time at work. That's not time that you can look after the kid. That's self-explanatory.
All right. And term number 5, drama queen. The society uses this term for people, mostly girls, who like to blow everything totally out of proportion because they either seek attention or are insecure or emotionally dysfunctional or all of the above.
Yeah, drama queen.
Gay people can be queens too. I just want that on
the perfect descriptor of this author.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. I'm starting to suspect that might be the only reason. Is this a woman who wrote this article? I'm suspecting it's the only reason that she wrote this article because someone called her a drama queen and she got offended.
Yes, it is a woman named Shruti Sandaram.
The reason we have this association with women is because women have a higher level of neuroticism than men in general.
I wouldn't be surprised if the next term was just bullshit author. When this term is used to define a lot of girls and gay men, do you see the problem here? To reinstate the fact, when I was researching for this article, the below screenshot consists of the results for the Google search drama queen. It's quite disturbing. Let's see, 5 signs you're working with a drama queen. Why do women love drama? 8 signs of dating a drama queen. Yes, this is very disturbing. Young
I'm
children,
so disturbed.
young children and pregnant women should look away.
Oh my God.
All right. And number 6, she's asking for it.
How appropriate.
Well,
Yes, this was totally a commonly accepted phrase. You start smacking around a woman, she was asking for it.
Actually, I think the last term is going to be the most appropriate, but for all men out there, stop automatically assuming she's asking for it based on her clothes. You are
So what if
deciding...
she's wearing purple?
Huh?
What if she's wearing purple? Which is a reference to the Grapist that I don't know if...
No, I get it.
Is that an Australian thing?
No, it's from the whitest kids you know.
Oh.
Yeah, the Grapist.
Stop based on her clothes. You are deciding what type of person a woman is based on her fashion sense, and you think it is okay to make a move on her without her permission based on this. Ugh.
You know, first of all, this phrase is not societally accepted today. It's considered to be very old-fashioned to suggest such a thing. It did happen at one point in history. I won't deny that, but it does not happen today. And second of all, it seems like it's solely there to poison the well for the rest of the list. I mean, you were putting she's asking for it on the same level as man up. Are you kidding me?
There's also like benign uses. Like, why did you give her a pen? Well, she was asking for it. That's why I gave her the pen. She asked for a pen.
You possibly cannot know what the woman is thinking based on her clothes. And even if you do, you ought to know this in all instances, right? Why do you automatically know only when you want to get laid? This viral video by the BBC exactly represents my thoughts and views on the issue. And she provides a link.
Okay.
All right, and the last word, pussy.
Yay!
Seriously.
I was really hoping one of you would guess it just so I could say, show me pussy.
Hey, but if you combine man up and pussy, you get the acceptable phrase.
Mhm.
Just saying.
I have saved the worst for last, and most of my rant. The society... Why does she say the society? The society usually uses this word as slang for a timid and a passive person, especially a man. Dear society, let me ask you this. Why the hell should any of my genital parts associate with weakness? Women from...
So should we tell her that it's actually a shortened form of pusillanimous? Like, should we let her know just now before she gets off on her rant?
Yeah. And like Dr. Keeves says in chat, I mean, being called a dick isn't a good thing either. Let's see. Women from time unknown have pushed a complete human being out of their quote-unquote pussy. While giving birth to her baby, a woman experiences more pain than a man can ever do. Does that not make...
No. Not true. Man can pass kidney stones. That's supposed to be about on par with the level of pain, except that you won't hear any feminists talking about it because A, we don't have hormones that help us forget that sort of pain, and B, they don't want to give up the notion that they can go through more pain than a man because they petty as fuck.
Yeah, people talk about, like, the miracle of childbirth. No one talks about the miracle of pushing a rock out of your dick. Does that not make vaginas the most powerful part of the body?
Wow.
I imagine she's one of those people. Remember those crazy ladies who are like lifting weights with their vagina? Remember that shit? And you'd see them like doing crunches with like a weight dangling between their legs.
Uh, oh, so that's why you want nudity on Parlor.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah.
I think a better test would just be how far they can shoot a ping pong ball.
Yeah. Then why is quote-unquote pussy used for weak people? We should use it for warriors as a compliment, isn't it?
You gotta be kidding me.
I actually would agree with that. That would be hilarious.
So what you're saying is a pussy warrior?
Saying it to the warrior you respect on the field. You are a very strong warrior, a real pussy.
So you're the biggest pussy I've ever seen. Only that's in a good way.
I don't know why this reminded me of Arrested Development.
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
She uses the word pussy to mean like cute and like sweet, and so the whole thing is when it's being used offensively, they have to beep it out. When it's being used to mean cute, they can say it, and so like half the time pussy is beeped out, and half the time it's not.
Yeah. So like an English woman says it and it's fine because she's English and it means something different over there, and then Steve Holt says it and it's bleeped out.
Sir, the battle went horribly. All my pussies are bleeding on the ground. The only reason I have for society comparing vaginas to weakness is deeply terrifying, and I realized this while reading an article from the Huffington Post. Big shocker. Vaginas are considered weak because they can be overpowered. They can be raped. This is the very definition of rape culture. The normalization of sexual violence. Scary, no? No.
No. You just answered your own question.
Yeah. I'm curious. Can this author's pussy stretch that far?
Don't ask questions you don't want answered.
Oh, wow, that is a hot take. All right.
That might win the hot take of the night.
Don't jump the gun yet. There's still a lot of string left to go.
Final thoughts. I do not deny that our societies are not improving. They are. But they remain largely patriarchal. In this situation, it becomes our duty to imbibe the right set of values into the next generation. Teach them that women and men are equal. Teach them to get rid of gender stereotypes. Teach them how to not fit into a box.
Well, we came out of a box.
Yeah.
Hey, Scribe. Scribe,
Yeah.
you still awake?
I'm hanging in there.
All right.
Okay.
Well, there's only one more article after this, so yeah. Teach them it is okay for men to cry and be compassionate, and it is okay, and it is okay for women to go out, work, and be strong. The language.
Men can cry and be compassionate on their own time. Don't do it in public. That's not allowed.
Yeah. The language we use defines our characteristics and our thought processes too. Using the correct non-derogatory language is important. It is essential and we cannot take it lightly. I hope this article made you aware of some imbibed bias we have and inspired you to be more careful of what you speak and teach others.
Mm-hmm.
I just like that we can't take it lightly. Got to be body positive. Light is bad. You've got to take it heavy. Got to take it fat.
Man, what a pussy.
Thank you.
I
I am here, aren't I?
was talking about the author. All right. And now it's time for the second game, which is Poe or No, where I will list 3 article titles. 2 of them are Medium articles, and 1 of them I made up. And you guys have to figure out which one is made up.
If I wasn't Poe, why would I be here?
All right. Headline A. Real men embrace their feminine energy. Headline B. The inevitable backlash when people of color Oh, the inevitable backlash people of color face entering white spaces. And C, whiteness has never existed peacefully in America.
I think A is made up.
All right.
I'm gonna go with Terry on this one. I think that you intentionally dumbed it down a bit, so to trick us, because we'd go for the more verbose thing.
I'm gonna go with C.
Okay. Scribe.
Yeah, I'll say C is the fake one.
C. And the answer is
What should be B?
B was the fake one.
Of course. Put Frakes out there.
Yep.
I'm shocked you didn't say Blacklash.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. If I put too many buzzwords in there, then it just sounds fake.
Yeah.
So there's a fine line you got to walk, you know.
That is true.
It's pure fiction.
People of color face. See, that should have been the indicator.
A pock face.
And I even spelled color with a U to throw you guys off even more.
Ugh. I'm telling you, folks, this man is an evil genius.
See, I thought it was spelled correctly because you finally figured out how to spell.
No. And
No,
that's
it was an intentional typo.
It's not a typo, it's spelled correctly.
no. We spell
On
things.
some planet.
We spell things right around here. All
Thank
right.
you. I appreciate it.
And now the final article. Another one I picked out especially for Scribe.
Mm.
You can't be an ally and a grammar Nazi.
Nice.
I'm a sit back and let Scribe take the wheel on this one.
Oh, God.
It's high time we celebrate Black English for the rich, nuanced language it is. Stop me if you've heard this one before. It just bugs me when people don't speak properly. What about this classic? Everyone should learn to speak correct English. If you're like me, a college-educated cis white guy, you've probably heard some version of these phrases from one of your equally privileged friends. Maybe they were bothered by a stranger using a double negative, as in, ain't nothing wrong with that. Perhaps they were poking fun at someone who replaced ask with axe. Let me axe you something.
I've said it before and I'll say it again. The corruption of the English language by black people is the bubonic plague.
Alright, that's the third disavow I've done in this stream. These otherwise woke individuals get all huffy when someone uses your instead of your with an apostrophe. They call themselves...
Yes, because you're a fucking idiot that doesn't know your goddamn grammar. I hate those fucking people.
They call themselves grammar Nazis. I call them assholes.
Good. Then I am happy to be an asshole. Your stupid fucking ass doesn't... Oh, I'd be...
Following the same logic as pussies being weak, assholes can be raped too, so assholes are weak.
Yeah.
The fuck I am.
It's flawless logic. I'd like to hear your counter argument.
And screw babies. Assholes push stuff out like every day.
Yeah.
And by the way, please do not take screw babies out of context. All right.
Yes, you heard it here.
Because if you're not like me, and by the way, they used the wrong your.
Of course, they wanted to make that example up above, but after they, or before they did it.
I mean,
intentionally.
I'd like to say it, but it seems like it was just an accident. Being told your speech is improper or flat out wrong is offensive and discriminatory.
See, this is where I think we can see that it's not deliberate, because if she was doing it on purpose, it would be the wrong your in both cases instead of just the first one.
Linguistic prejudice is a well-known phenomenon within the field of sociolinguistics. Still, among the general public, it remains the last acceptable form of discrimination. Remember this PSA? No, I don't. I'm not playing that video. It's based on a famous study in which the researchers did precisely the same thing as the actor in the video. To the ad's credit, it didn't mince the study's conclusion that housing discrimination based solely on television conversations occurs. Linguistic prejudice is implicit, meaning we can make the problem worse without knowing it. Humans are pretty smart, and we can identify a speaker's ethnicity with astonishing accuracy, with as little to
Or
go.
shit.
No, they did a study. Weren't you paying attention, Scribe? With
a study, that means it's proven fact.
Yeah.
How much was it peer reviewed?
Someone read it.
Yeah.
In their defense, I will hang up on anyone with an Indian accent who calls my phone.
That's racist.
Right. Can identify a speaker's ethnicity with astonishing accuracy with as little to go on as hello. Judgment and misconception quickly follow suit. Sound like you're from a Dukes of Hazzard episode? You're likely to be perceived as less educated, lazy, and unemployed. Talk like a Yank? We Southern folk tend to find y'all abrasive, arrogant, and uptight. These
I
biases...
want to punch this guy. I really do.
These biases have serious implications, particularly for speakers of African American vernacular English, which I refer to as Black English.
No such thing.
Whose speech is maligned as unintelligible and inarticulate. The truth is Black English is no less sophisticated than Standard English. It has its own rules and grammatical features that add context and meaning in ways Standard English simply can't.
Well, then I guess it's
No, it
good that we
doesn't.
have ourselves an English major that can explain all this bullshit.
I'm an English major, not a linguistics major, so don't expect too much from me.
It turns out I can't put the comment "Niglish" in chat because YouTube can't.
I would like to hear from this author. What ebonics exist out there that do not have English equivalents?
I don't know. Let's find out. A frequent criticism of Black English, BE, is the misuse of the verb be. The absence of be is common in BE. As an aside, many languages that aren't considered improper lack various forms of be, such as Japanese, Russian, Hungarian, and Hebrew. The following phrases are typical of BE. She is in her office. You are a liar. He is wild, though. We are gunhead out. Many linguistics initially concluded that certain forms of be just didn't exist in BE. But we now know that ain't true. There are categorical rules that dictate when and in what form be is used in BE. For example, without exception, the inflected forms of be, is, and are can only be deleted if they can be contracted, he's, your, we're, in Standard English and vice versa. To demonstrate, how beautiful your translates to how beautiful you. And what's it?
What?
And what's it translates to what it. He's now translates to he now. What's it for translates to what it for. He's unfortunately here translates to he unfortunately here. And we're about to leave translates to we about to leave.
Okay, well, why don't I add another example there from the incredible Ebonics language lesson that says, you don't have any money? Thanks anyway. In Black English, fuck you.
Uh,
The Ebonics language lesson, yes.
That is a fantastic example of Standard English versus Black English. This is a bunch of bullshit. This person just needs to be smacked upside the head and say, go back to fucking school.
Pretty cool, right?
No.
Another unbreakable rule of BE is any form of be cannot be deleted if it marks the end of a sentence.
What?
Let's see. Then they list, I don't care what you are. do you see where that person is? And I ain't, he is.
Yeah, sound like normal sentences to me.
The absence or presence of be adds crucial bits of context to be. In the example above, she in her office can be translated as she is in her office right now. On the flip side, she be in her office means she is usually in her office.
No.
No.
This-
No, you're making things up. You're just making things up.
It's made up. A writer invented it.
Yeah, no shit.
This discrete use of be isn't a sign of poor grammar. Yeah, it is. Rather, it's a unique way of expressing information.
It's
If
the
you-
wrong way.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
I mean, shitting your pants is a unique way of expressing information. That doesn't mean it's a good way. If you really...
Sorry, can I just tell this author in a way that she understands it, presumably? Your cousin's dick be in your pussy.
Okay. Hey,
So that means it may not be in her pussy, but it usually is in her pussy. I'm still learning the language. I'm not fluent.
we call it a front hole around here.
Yeah.
Oh god.
If you really want to get under a grammar Nazi's skin, though, use a double negative. They hate it. Technically,
They don't not hate it to make the point.
They don't know.
Technically known as a negative concord, a double negative refers to the occurrence of two negative elements within a single sentence. In SE, the negation of a statement occurs via only one negative form, such as he is never afraid and I am not a smart man.
That is a nice confession that we finally got out of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. That's one of the truest statements this person's made so far.
Yep. In BE, these would be translated as, he ain't never scared and I ain't no genius.
Ain't that the truth?
BE can actually include more than two negatives and still be grammatically and logically coherent. No, it can't.
No.
Grammar Nazis justify their disdain for double negatives by relying on misplaced logic that asserts two negatives make a positive.
This isn't math, motherfucker.
If he is not never scared, they contend, that means he is scared, and it is illogical to use that combination of words to mean otherwise.
I agree with that.
This line of thinking ignores the nuances and peculiarities of language. Double
The wrongness.
Yes. Double negatives are present in many of the world's languages. In fact, BE has more in common with Romance languages than SE when it comes to double negatives.
I doubt it.
So why not just call it black, I don't know, French or whatever? Because it's not English.
How much would you like to bet that this person is deliberately misunderstanding, or well, no, not deliberately. They're too dumb to deliberately do anything. How much you want to bet this person is misunderstanding other languages?
Yeah. I mean, they don't understand English. I'm not trusting them to understand all these other European languages. None of these examples are illogical or incorrect, despite containing a negative concord. If you were to wander around Italy saying, ho visto nessuno, you'd incur the wrath of this exasperated Italian mayor.
Oh no, you don't want the Italian mayor mad at us.
The final nugget of BE wisdom I'd like to drop is the absence of S suffixes. In BE and other vernaculars, third singular present tense S and possessive S are pretty much always omitted as are plural S, albeit with less frequency. For example, she climb, his daddy house, a few hours later.
Oh dear God, that sounds horrible.
Yeah.
Wait a second. Why is this person, these examples you're using, je ne veux personne in French? There's no double negative in that.
Mm-mm.
How is this supposed to how is this supposed to validate the position of a double negative if she isn't actually using double negatives as examples?
Well, you're not supposed to speak French well enough to know it's a fake argument. Stop oppressing the author with your fancy knowledge.
And check your logic. I don't care if I don't pronounce Italian right.
Dr. Kiev says, is this Common Core English or something? Yes, it is.
Italy is full of warriors, if you know what I mean. This grammatical quirk is highly specific to BE and has been documented in black communities in New York, Michigan, California, and Florida. It's also found in Jamaican Creole English and Haitian Creole.
It's a dialect. It's not a language, for God's sakes. You can have a dialect that is a variant of a language that's not its own separate language. Black English. It's just...
No, they need their own language, Scribe. In short,
Wait, how could you understand me? I was speaking in speaking in Creole English, not your English.
You just call it Blackish.
Well, I already said English, but YouTube wouldn't let.
Mine is a little bit more PC, but yeah.
In short, it's not a bug, it's a feature. By now, you hopefully have a better understanding of BE and its complexities. It isn't some bastardized form of SE whose speakers are ignorant of grammar. Yes, it is.
I will disagree with that
It
statement.
most certainly is.
But Vincent, you say, if BE is merely another dialect like New England English, Appalachian English, Yooper English, and New York City English, why does it get such a bad rap? Great question. Like so many problems in America, it boils down to race. Every language changes over time, and every language comes in different flavors. It's normal for a language to express variation in its grammar and lexicon. Like skin color, gender, and body type, language has no inherent value. Despite this simple truth, there's a lot of hostility towards certain dialects that are considered bad or wrong. Perception and evaluation of speech are strongly influenced by listeners' biases, expectations, and attitudes. Race, social status, and geography are just a few factors that skew impressions about someone else's language. Whether a dialect is considered prestigious, think Downton Abbey, or distasteful, think Here Comes Honey Boo Boo, depends. So this person wants to identify themselves with Honey Boo Boo, apparently. Depends on how...
They identify as a pig American.
Depends on how society views the speakers. There's a mountain of data identifying the outsized role of implicit bias in speaker evaluation and the perceived value of a language. A group from Yale conducted a survey asking speakers to rate the acceptability of various sentences. Below are a few examples. She has her a new boyfriend. He fast in everything he do. We don't any of us need anything. Respondents were encouraged to leave comments about the sentences they rated poorly. Some choice gems. This group of sentences had more urban slang. Many of these sentences are common.
The mountain of evidence was actually just Mama June. That just got confused.
Many of these sentences are common on the streets. Caveman speak I typically rated low. Yikes. When we judge a specific linguistic feature, we're actually passing judgment on a group of people. In the example above, respondents ascribed the black thug stereotype to phrases typical of BE.
Well, if black thugs stopped using those expressions, we wouldn't make that connection.
Yeah, and also like street talk or thug talk or whatever you want to call it, that's not talking about like all black people. That's like the equivalent of talking about like rednecks and, not meaning all white people.
I watched an episode of 2 of Lords of the Night. Satsu doesn't speak like this.
No.
But by the way, I should specify. I have been corrected on my French. I probably shouldn't have been trying to read French with my admittedly limited knowledge. Personne translates to nobody in French, and not person, as I originally thought.
Yeah.
I thought it was person. It ends with an E, which would translate to just the feminine.
All the French I know I learned from Lady Marmalade.
So I have been corrected. Technically, there were 2 negatives in that statement, although I am sure that there is some additional context missing.
All right, let's see. Let's skip ahead a little. Let's go to the conclusion. All right. Being an ally means checking our privileges and identifying our biases. To be critical of another's language is to engage in a type of discrimination. When we critique someone else's grammar or speech, we must ask ourselves what it is we're really criticizing. No language is intrinsically superior to another, and any judgment thereof is rooted in social bias. So the next time you overhear a friend or colleague ask why black English speakers don't just learn standard English, remind them that it's incredibly difficult to acquire a second dialect. Perhaps harder than learning a new language. Yes, learning to speak Ebonics is harder than learning a new language. Tell them, politely but firmly, variation is a natural part of language, and when we acknowledge our implicit biases, we're not only preserving language diversity, but undoing the harmful effects of linguistic prejudice. Yes, I would love to tell my friend that.
The question is, were you born in this country? If you were, then there's no fucking reason why you can't learn to speak like everybody else. So I don't want to hear this bullshit of, we have to learn a second language. No, motherfucker, you don't. That just means you don't want to talk.
But Moonshaw, words are inherently tied to a person's skin color. If you have black skin, that means that the words naturally sort of just they go through osmosis into your brain, the different word set.
Oh, so every black person then should then speak pidgin?
Exactly. It's biological. The knowledge of words is biological to the individual.
Whatever.
Yes.
Whatever.
So, Scribe, I expect you to stop correcting grammar and stop being racist.
I correct spelling. I don't really deal with grammar so much as far as people actually talking out loud. People who do that like in the middle of a sentence or something, those guys are jerks. On the internet, I just do it for entertainment.
I'm a grammar Nazi, but only because I don't like the grammar Jews.
Oh, Terry. Can always be relied upon.
All right. Now, that's the last article, but we still have one more game. And that is for the chat and the chat alone. And that is the caption contest.
And you don't have Sun here to translate your stuff in here, Jack, you cheater.
Yep. All right, so I'm going to show a photo of a political figure or event, and you in the chat have to come up with a caption for it, and whichever one we think is funniest, I'll tweet out and tag you in after the show. And here is tonight's photo. And that is a freshly punched Ted Wheeler. After, I believe it was Antifa. Was it an Antifa member who punched him?
Yeah.
When he was eating somewhere?
Oh, right. Poor baby.
Can you see it, Scribe?
Or what?
Can you see the picture?
You have to be watching the stream.
No, I don't. Oh, hold on.
Did you black out the patch on his arm, or was that there originally?
That was there originally.
Oh,
he was wearing a swastika, so I had to block it out. Yeah.
Oh, got it. Okay. No wonder why he got punched.
I was having a little bit of a discussion on Twitter about him getting harassed in the middle of the restaurant, and it was with Prospero, and I consider her to be sort of like the moral, my personal moral guidance. But I did disagree on this point. She said it's never okay to harass someone in a restaurant, but I was thinking, this Ted Wheeler guy shut down his entire city. There are people out there whose lives have been totally and utterly ruined by this policy. Their life's work has been shut down. If I was a restaurant owner and my place had been shut down, and I see the guy who shut my restaurant down personally sitting in a restaurant eating, I would want to harass him. And I think it would be perfectly justified to do so.
Jack, I'm going to correct you on one thing. He actually prefers Eddie Baby.
Jeez.
Eddie. Yeah, like, punching is obviously wrong, but, like, I'm not gonna say it's not karma that the group he's been defending all this time punched him. So I'm not gonna shed a tear for him.
Not seeing any quotes.
Yeah.
Or any descriptions.
And an actual native French speaker is telling me in chat that the way the author said that French phrase was actually incorrect.
It's not incorrect.
I didn't hurt that poor Antifa's hand with my face.
It's not incorrect, Jack. It's just black.
And squealer.
I'm sorry, sir. Please don't hit me again.
That's right. You have a racist face because you hurt that Antifa member.
All right.
Apparently, Dr. Kiev's suggestion is bump, bump, bump. I don't know why she did that.
Well, obviously, it's bump stocks because everybody needs to have one.
And I keep saying it wrong. It's Dr. Kiev, but my brain keeps reading it as Kiev. So sorry.
Mommy said that means they like me.
That one is winning for me.
Yep, me too.
Time to man up.
Ted Wheeler.
All right. Putting about 45 seconds or so on the clock.
Yes, they give punches of peace. There you go.
And I'm actually very proud of Jack. I haven't had to time him out yet.
That's a good point.
I'm sorry, sir.
Yeah.
Please hit me again. I deserve it.
I think he just couldn't think of anything good. That's all.
Yeah, should have seen that coming.
You punched my chin off. Enjoy your time out, sir.
Hey, I am just pleased to have gotten the laugh this time.
All right.
Okay.
So, what do you guys think is the best so far?
I like mommy said that means they like me.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I'll go for that.
Okay.
Giovanni Prince wins.
Yeah,
I think is it the first time we've all been unanimous?
I think so.
I don't know.
I was mostly just pleased with my answer.
Yeah, but you did submit one, so
I think Evolved Potato is in a close second with I'm sorry, please hit me again, I deserve it.
but I do prefer Giovanni Prince as well.
Yeah.
All right. So I will tweet out with your caption, and if you're on Twitter, I'll tag you. If not, I'll just put your name.
Damn. Someone driving away so fast?
That is a frequent occurrence outside my building. So yeah, sorry about that.
The spider.
They want to go punch Ted Wheeler.
Did the Huntsman spider steal your car again?
Well, I don't have a car, so it would be quite a feat if it managed to do that.
Yeah, they bring everything to him. He doesn't go anywhere.
They don't allow cars in Australia.
We have kangaroos. We don't need cars.
Yeah.
It's a shame I got banned. I thought of a great caption. 1 star. The punch was terrible.
Well, it's a shame. It's a shame that you're not allowed to enter the contest, isn't it?
I know.
Terry doesn't need a car. He has an emu.
All right. Well, that's all I had for tonight, gentlemen. So, going to shill my co-host and guest. Jack Gunsky has Quippers United on Sundays at 7 p.m. Eastern.
Yes, that's correct. 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific.
All right. And the link to that should be in the description.
Oh, I won't be able to make it this weekend, Jack, because my brother-in-law's going to be here.
God damn it! Can't he visit some other time?
Yeah, just tell him to fuck off.
Yeah.
Okay, let me call him up.
No, what you do is you go on a little drive and out into the country somewhere, and you just drop him off.
Make him walk home.
And then while he's looking for a phone to call AAA or some shit, you can come back and play the game.
Yo, man, that ain't no good thing to do.
All right, and Moonchuck is currently out of work with the lockdowns and everything.
Scamdemic.
Yeah. So the link to his Streamlabs is in the chat and the description. So
Yeah, give me money. I promise that I'll make it worth your while.
Yep. So donate and you get a free handy behind a 7-Eleven. And Terry Diamantis is on every stream known to man, including including this, Quippers United, Minions on Della Hayes nights, Johnny Hellcat streams.
Yep.
Is that everything?
I just got a text from my wife. He's upstairs in bed with her.
Wow.
Yep. How do you do that when the spider stole his car?
Once we get the webcam installed, that'll be the other stream that I'm on.
No, that would be a stream on her, wouldn't it? All right, and Scribe, I hear you have some show, Nords of the Light or something.
Yeah, it's not like that. I don't know. It's pretty stupid.
Yeah.
Nords of the Light. I actually like that.
Nobody really watches it. It's just a little thing we do.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, everybody go check out Scribe. You know, like to help out the smaller guys. You know, now and then. All right. So, let's see. I think that's it. Oh, and also I'll be on Irate Prostate's show on Sunday. At
Nice.
yeah. Let's see.
Cream stream? Or no, that's the ice cream interviews, right?
Yeah, the ice cream one. I gotta check.
Okay, yeah.
What time was it? 5 p.m. Eastern on Irate Prostate's channel.
Nice.
So yeah, go on over to his channel and check it out. All right.
Remember to heckle Frosted from the chat.
Yeah, that's right.
Stormfront says hello.
All right. And I'd like to thank my co-host and guest, Jack Gunsky. Oh,
That was him dying.
We finally killed him.
His aneurysm finally came to pass.
I had to give him something. I promised I'd die.
Moonchuck,
Thank you, everybody. I appreciate it.
Terry Diamantis,
Man up, pussies.
Oh, I saw what you did there.
and Scribelight. Oh, Scribelight is pulling a Moonshock.
Hey, that was months ago, man.
Hey, you still did it.
I know.
All right. Oh, and also, I forgot to mention, next week's guest, through sheer coincidence, will be Irate Prostate.
Oh, nice.
Ooh.
Oh.
And I think Moonchuck learnt his sleeping abilities because of the show that his parents put on for him. He had to learn how to sleep through that kind of thing.
Yeah.
You bastard.
You can't really blame him.
No.
All right. So,
Scribe, don't ask. Don't ask.
and yeah, so next week's show should be on Thursday with Irate Prostate as the guest. So, all right. So bye everybody.
Bye, guys.
Hello.
Bye, everyone.